Coming up next on Star City News,
we'll tell you why a second American is being treated for the deadly Ebola virus at the University of Nebraska Medical Center.
A UNL student continues to fight for his life after being robbed and badly beaten.
And we'll tell you what UNL police have to say about the latest report that shows some crimes are on the rise at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
All this and more coming up next on Star City News.
Live from the television studios of the College of Journalism and Mass Communications at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Star City News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Star City News. I'm Chelsea Eaton.
And I'm Claire Acton. An American photojournalist's son, friend, has arrived in Omaha in need of treatment from the deadly Ebola virus. Star City News reporter Kayla Van Wee has more with America's latest Ebola patient who arrived yesterday from West Africa.
When Ashuka Mugpo walked off the plane and onto a stretcher yesterday morning, onlookers couldn't help but notice the dramatic physical difference. Some waiting in protective suits, others wearing T-shirts to rush Mugpo to the Nebraska Medical Hospital. His parents are here from Rhode Island to be by his side. They are encouraged that their son's symptoms have not gotten worse since he was diagnosed Thursday in Liberia.
I told him I thought he was crazy.
And I begged him from a mother's perspective. I said, please don't go. But there was nothing to do. He was determined.
They say their son had a strong connection to West Africa. He lived there for 2 years covering the crisis and said he wanted to help.
I told him about the risks, what I knew about Ebola, and why I thought it wasn't a good idea, the difficulty of getting treatment once he got there, if he did get sick, all the things that any of us would tell our friends or our patients or our loved ones, and none of it worked.
Mugpo has now spent his first full day at Nebraska's Medical Center. He's currently being held on the 7th floor of the University Tower behind me, that being the country's largest biocontainment unit, and the reason why he is here as the second patient with this deadly virus. The challenge moving forward will be treating Mugpo's case. Dr. Ali Khan, Nebraska's Dean of Public Health, says there are no approved medications for Ebola at this point.
Our clinical team is in consultation with the Centers for Disease Control, the FDA, and a number of drug manufacturers across the United States to think about what are the best options.
When Rick Sacro was treated here, he got serum from an Ebola survivor, an experimental drug, and around-the-clock medical care. UNMC health officials don't know if that same treatment regimen will work for Mugpo. For Lincoln Star City News, I'm Kayla Van Wee reporting.
President Barack Obama has declared the fight against Ebola a top national security priority. Federal health officials say the U.S. is considering extra screenings at U.S. airports where travelers from Ebola-infected areas in Africa may be arriving.
Head of National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says currently there are only Ebola screenings in African airports. But he says all options are being looked at for additional airport screenings in the U.S.
What that would look like is under discussion, but likely retaking the temperature and asking some additional questions so that you have screening both at the exit and at the entry end. That's the thing that's on the table right now.
Some lawmakers are fighting to halt flights from Africa altogether to prevent additional Ebola-infected patients from entering the United States. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says this is a step too far. This panic was stirred after Thomas Eric Duncan entered the U.S. with little Ebola symptoms and was not hospitalized until days later. Health experts understand that Duncan's hospitalization has uncovered flaws and unexpected problems regarding treatment for Ebola in the U.S.
We don't have an outbreak. We have one event that is being handled properly.
He says 77 people have been kept from boarding international flights in other countries that have screening measures. President Obama has not said what types of screens the United States might use in this country.
The Lincoln Police Department says a 22-year-old UNL student is still in critical condition after being attacked early Friday near the Capitol. Patrick Montoya and a friend were walking near 14th and K Street when they were approached by two men who demanded cash. They were attacked when they told the men they didn't have cash. A Lincoln police officer found the 2 victims. Patoya has been announced unconscious since the attack. Police say the attackers took a wallet and a phone. Police say they have not been identified.
Lincoln police have charged a Bennett man with seriously injuring a bicyclist. Last Wednesday, Michael Safe was riding his bike on Nebraska Highway 43 near Satilla Road. He was then struck from behind by a Chevy pickup driven by 52-year-old Edward Vasa. Safe has been hospitalized ever since. He is in critical condition with a concussion and multiple fractures, including a fractured pelvis and sternum. Lancaster County Chief Deputy Jeff Blymeister says Vasa was cited on Sunday
for careless driving, driving on the shoulder, and unlawful overtaking or passing of a bicyclist.
The federal government is investigating the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's handling of an alleged rape. The Department of Education Title IX investigation is looking at the university's response to a student's complaint that she was raped by a UNL faculty member. It happened last May. The faculty member was fired just a month ago, and Lincoln police are still investigating. In a statement, UNL said, the university immediately barred the alleged offender from campus and instructed the individual to refrain from further contact with students. The safety of students was never compromised at any time during the investigation.
When we come back, we'll have the latest on the U.S. Supreme Court's landmark decision on gay marriages.
Star City News returns.
Welcome back. Same-sex couples are getting married in more states, but the U.S. Supreme Court decided this week that they are not going to get involved. 2 men who sued the state were among the first to get their marriage license in Virginia. Their case ended this week as the U.S. Supreme Court refused to issue a ruling that would support bans on same-sex marriages. 5 states that have had bans on same-sex marriage now have to reconsider their positions. In part because of the ruling, experts predict that 30 states will have legalized same-sex marriage in the coming weeks.
Today is National News Engagement Day. It's to encourage the public to pay attention to news and support news awareness. Star City News asked Lincoln residents where they get their news and why they think being engaged matters.
I am engaged in the news. I like to keep up with what's going on. Something like MSN, I check that frequently. That's the main way. And television. Newspapers, not so much anymore.
I'd say I'm pretty current with events.
I mean, more locally than I'd say nationally. I'd like to say newspapers, but honestly, probably Twitter.
Mostly CNN. You can't really have an opinion about anything if you're not up to date on anything.
To promote National News Engagement Day, various news organizations are giving away free newspapers and GoPro cameras. For more information, you can go to newsengagement.org.
Campus crime statistics have come out for the year 2013. Some areas saw an increase this past year. Star City's Claire Porter says UNL police have one possible explanation for the increase.
The University of Nebraska-Lincoln released its annual Campus Security and Fire Safety Report Wednesday. The report details the number of instances for a variety of crimes, several of which saw a rise in occurrence for the year 2013. Sexual assaults on the UNL campus rose from 3 to 4 between 2011, 2012, and 2013. There were no reported robberies in 2011, but 2 were reported in 2012 and 2013. The university has also seen more liquor law arrests. They jumped 23% from 2011 to 315 arrests last year. One of the biggest crime increases involved reported burglaries. They almost tripled between 2011, when there were 7, to 19 burglaries in 2013. UNL PD officer Cone Nissen believes this rise in numbers could be due to increased communication between students and the UNL PD.
And to be honest with you, what I'm hoping is what it means is people are more comfortable coming to us. You know, because we know it's happening. It's not a question of you know, if it's happening. We know it's happening. But we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page out there and that they know they have this resources available to them. They can come to us and report the crimes.
Social media has become serious for several users of the new app phone. Yik Yak is new social media application. It has been gaining popularity among college students and in national news this week. The app allows users to anonymously post a message in 200 characters or less. Sometimes those comments can get offensive. Even though the app is anonymous, 2 Southern Mississippi University students were arrested and charged with using the app to post computer threats. LPD spokeswoman Katie Flood says threats like these are being taken seriously.
I think sometimes people have a false sense of security when they are posting on those apps since they are anonymous. However, it's not truly anonymous when it comes to criminal matters.
Halloween is on the way and the pumpkin patches are in full fledged. I was able to go this weekend and visit JK's pumpkin patch, and here's more with the story.
Josh Kadavy and his family say their business is thriving. Pumpkins are the feature attraction. They also have an active website and even a Facebook page. Kadavy says his main focus is on his customers.
Main focus is the people, obviously, that come into the pumpkin patch. You know, the new visitors, they're looking for something that their kids can come out and enjoy as a family.
JK's Pumpkin also has their own niche. They are selling pink pumpkins this year to promote breast cancer awareness and research.
It's been on our hearts to be able to support these organizations and charities.
This year, JK's grew about 600 pink pumpkins, and they have already sold almost half of them.
All of our proceeds that we get off of those pumpkins, we sell them for $8 here on the farm, and all those proceeds go back to benefit breast cancer awareness and research.
Kadavy says it's been a good year for growing pumpkins, and the rain has helped.
I tell you what, we're blessed. We truly have had a great crop this year, and the pumpkins look good in size.
For the Kadavy family, it's not just about the pumpkins, but about the memories.
No, it's building those family memories and those traditions with families that they can experience and look forward to each and every fall season with us.
You can go check out JK's Pumpkin. It's open Friday through Sunday and located about 3 miles north of town.
And speaking of the beautiful weather you had this weekend on the Pumpkin Patch, Claire, we also have beautiful weather again today. We have a live shot outside of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's Union. It's looking gorgeous.
Looks really good. And Amber Michaels, she will have more about the weather coming up next.
And now, a look at Star City weather.
Welcome back to Star City News.
The weather has been gradually cooling down, but what is it looking like for the rest of the week, Amber?
Yeah, guys, another nice day, 72 degrees currently, mostly sunny skies. A cold front did come through this morning, bringing in very strong northwesterly winds, so 15 to 20 miles per hour, so a little breezy out there as well. Looking at the rest of Nebraska, very seasonal temperatures for the majority of Nebraska, 72 in Omaha, as well as here in Lincoln. A little bit warmer to the south, 79 in Hill City, Kansas, so a few degrees above the normal temperature. Looking at our hourly forecast, 68 degrees by 6 p.m., still quite nice throughout the evening hours, dropping into the mid-50s throughout the overnight hours, and then bottoming out around the mid-40s. So mostly clear skies overnight, and that will set up for a very nice great viewing opportunity for the lunar eclipse tonight. So this lunar eclipse is sometimes called the blood moon because of its orange color, and this is when the sun is aligned with the earth as well as the moon, and the Earth's shadows are displayed on the moon. And so that is when we get the orangish color. So 46 degrees tonight and mostly clear, so we should be able to see that. It starts at about 5:30, and the peak orangeness should be around 7:30 as well. And light northwest winds as well. If we take a look at our satellite, we see a few clouds moving through the area. These will not affect the viewing of the lunar eclipse tonight, as they're mainly just high-level clouds and look to be dissipating as well. Taking a look at tomorrow, we do see temperatures jumping up into the mid-70s by the afternoon again. So another nice day, very, very mild for September, and then 64 at noon, and should be mainly sunny throughout the day, topping out around 72 degrees. So 64 on Thursday, a few rain chances throughout Thursday, but cooling down over the next few days. Friday sitting at 60, fairly cool, a little bit cooler than the typical temperature for this time of year, but then warming up into the beginning of next week. 30% chance of rain on Sunday, but then warming up again throughout Monday and Tuesday with 70 degrees on Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Amber Michael. Jack Grimsey will be back with sports after the break.
Here's tonight's Star City Sports.
Welcome back to Star City News.
We have Jack Grimsey here in the studio with us. Jack, how are the baseball playoffs looking like?
Yeah, looking pretty good for Kansas City. Sunday night, they just completed the sweep of the Los Angeles Angels in the divisional round, so they're moving on to the American League Championship Series. The Royals were up 5-2 in the bottom of the fourth when Mike Moustakas homered and got the crowd feeling like the sweep was inevitable. It was the third baseman's second long ball of the postseason. The Angels' best chance came shortly after. In the top of the fifth, Albert Pujols hit a liner to shallow center that looked likely to drive in at least a run, but Lorenzo Cain's diving catch put notions of a rally to bed. Just one batter later, Howie Kendrick tried Cain again, but for a similar result. The center fielder again was up to the task, making a great sliding catch to end the inning. He and his teammates were understandably pretty pumped up about it. It wasn't a save situation for closer Greg Holland, but it didn't really matter as he recorded the final outs pretty easily. Naturally, Kaufman exploded into celebration as the Royals clinched a berth in the American League Championship Series for the first time since 1985. The Royals have now won 10 of their last 12, dating back to September 21st in the last week of the regular season. Next up are the Orioles, and the best-of-7 game series starts Friday night in Baltimore. Celebrations didn't stop there, though, for the Royals, not on the field, not even in the locker room after the big win. In celebration of moving on to the next round of the playoffs, Eric Hosmer and other Royals players bought drinks for fellow partiers at Kansas City's Power and Light District. Hosmer ran up a $3,000 bar tab in the process of thanking fans for their loyalty.
All these people out here, they're on their feet every pitch, and they got our backs every pitch, and we're feeding off that energy. And to come do it at home and to do this in front of our home crowd, it wouldn't be any better than coming celebrating with all these people out here.
Yeah, pretty great for the players to be able to party with the fans, interact a little bit there. But now moving on to football, Nebraska traveled to East Lansing this past weekend, unable to take care of business against the Michigan State Spartans. It was the first loss of the season, and it's always tough, but the Huskers are still ranked 21st, and Coach Bo Pelini has a positive outlook on the rest of the season. Amir Abdullah had been unstoppable so far this year, but the Spartans put a spear into his Heisman campaign. His first fumble of the year came in one of the worst situations when Nebraska was driving and on the verge of a touchdown. Abdullah was held to 45 yards for the game and averaged less than 2 yards per carry.
We lost a football game. It doesn't matter how, I don't care whether it was by 30 or by whatever it was, 5 as it ended up. It's not, I'm not into moral victories.
Even though Nebraska would come back to lose 27-22, Pelini said that his team got outplayed. He added that they showed a lot of heart at the end and will improve in the future. They have a bye week this week and go on the road to take on Northwestern next on October 19th. Yeah, it's a tough loss for them, but they're off this weekend. But sticking with Husker sports, it was a pretty wild weekend last weekend for Nebraska volleyball. Penn State and Ohio State were in town, and they were the latest Big Ten teams to pay a visit to the Devaney Center this season. Friday night, Nebraska stopped number 3 ranked Penn State's 11-match winning streak, winning 3 games to 1. But Saturday night, not so easy for them, and they might have been a bit burned out from the previous day's match, and Saturday against Ohio State ended up losing 3-2. So after splitting the 2 games, Huskers dropped 1 spot in the polls from 8th to 9th. So not all terrible news there, but for Michael Phelps, might be. The Olympic gold medal record holder has been suspended by USA Swimming for 6 months following his second DUI. Phelps was clocked going 84 miles per hour in a zone where the speed limit was 45. He checked into a 6-week rehab program on Sunday. Phelps has 18 gold medals, twice as many as the next closest athlete. Phelps said he needs to take some time away from swimming, but doesn't plan to give up the sport ahead of the 2016 Summer Olympic Games in Rio. Yeah, so kind of too bad for Phelps. He's had some problems with the law in the past, but
a few times.
Yeah,
that's a reality show in the making.
Yeah, hopefully be able to get it sorted out by Rio 2016. But yeah, that's all we have for sports today. I'm Jack Grimsey. Stay tuned for more Star City News after the break.
Star City News returns.
Welcome back. The United Nations says the number of refugees fleeing war in Syria is approaching 3 million. Nearly 1.5 million Syrian refugees are in Lebanon. It has increased Lebanon's population by 25%. Other Syrian refugees have fled to Jordan. The sheer number of refugees is overwhelming the UN Refugee Agency. The agency says it only has a fraction of the funds needed to respond to the humanitarian crisis. Other charities are struggling to provide medical support for the millions of refugees who have been forced from their homes because of intense fighting.
Rescue workers have found 3 more bodies near the summit of Mount Ontake yesterday. Rescue resources searched for missing people after Typhoon Fan hit the area 2 days ago. At least 52 people have died since the volcano eruption on Mount Ontake in late September. Police, firefighters, and self-defense forces are still looking for 12 people believed to be trapped on the mountain. The volcanic disaster is Japan's worst eruption in 23 years.
Showtime has announced that the show Twin Peaks is returning to the television screen. Twin Peaks originally aired as a murder mystery series in the early 1990s. It had a huge, loyal audience despite its quirky plot. Director of the series, David Lynch, posted a video yesterday confirming the show's return after 25 years. Showtime says Twin Peaks will be a limited series of 9 episodes. Showtime plans to air the entire TV series before the new episodes air in 2016. And we'll be back with more after the commercial break.
Star City News returns.
Welcome back. Kansas City, the city of fountains, is now the city of royal blue fountains. Wayman Hoffine, the president of Blue Valley Labs, is the man behind the project. He says it costs a few $100s to turn it blue and about $100 to keep it blue each day. Patrick McNamara, the maintenance superintendent for Parks and Rec, also takes care of the fountain. He says the city enjoys what they're doing.
We haven't been in this spot for a while, and if the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl or the Royals in the playoffs, it's all the same thing. This town loves its sports.
Amber is here with our last look at the weather.
Well, guys, a couple warmer days, or I guess maybe more seasonal, and then looks like we're looking at some maybe cooler temperatures over the next week, so maybe want to get that jacket back out.
Okay, any rain boots at all?
Maybe for Thursday. Otherwise, it looks pretty clear over the weekend. Maybe Sunday again too, but not bad.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for watching Star City News. I'm Chelsea Eaton.
And I'm Claire Acton. Good night.